Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is HoPeFuLCheWBaCCa back at the Twitch HoPeFuLCheWBaCCa, and today we're going to go over two different subscribers on the channel's team builds and kind of improve their team a little bit. These are just suggestions, and these are definitely going to be more short-term solutions and long-term solutions. It'll improve their team almost instantaneously while allowing them to work on their long-term goals that they will want to work on. If anybody would like me to go over their team and post it on the channel, let me know in the comments down below. We'll figure out how you can get your link for your NHL HUT Builder team to me. But it's going to be two reviews. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hopefully these guys like their suggestions. The two subscribers that have sent their information to me do not like these suggestions. Let me know in the comments down below. We'll work through it a little bit. Maybe you're like, I really don't want to use Darnell Nurse. I want to use somebody else. Well, maybe we can find a different solution. These are, like I said, are just suggestions. Let's get into it. I'm going to take my webcam off because there's really no point for you guys to see my face for this. So on the left is my suggestions. On the right is the user's original team that he is playing with right now. So let's go through his lineup real quick. And on his first line, he has Alexander Nylander, Joe Sakic, and Connor McDavid's base card, with his first defensive pair being Chris Chelios and Paul Coffey. From what he had said, these guys are untradeable. I believe the Connor McDavid can be sold, but it doesn't matter. He's going to stay in his lineup. Either way, these two guys and these two guys are untradeable. Then on the second line, we have Mikhail Abramov, Nicholas Backstrom, Brock Besser, who's untradeable. Then we have Al McGinnis, who is also untradeable, and Jacob Trouba. On the third line, we have Yari Curry, Steven Stamkos, and Matt Duchene, who's untradeable card. And we have two gold bases to fill out his distributor. In the fourth line, we have Phil Kessel, Tyler Seguin, and Mikhail Boddicker, another plug to fill out distributor. Then his two goalies are Bobrovsky base and Yaroslav Halak, team of the week that fills out distributor, with his coach being Sean Kingsley. So that's kind of what we're looking at like. The player synergies he has activated is Speedster, and the team synergies activated is Distributor. What I did notice when doing this as well is he has 5 out of 6 Howitzer. So he's one guy away from Howitzer, which is actually a really, really good player synergy. So we want to activate that because the Howitzer is going to give you, as you can see if we activate it on Chris Chelios real quick and take off distributor, it's going to give you the +3 agility, +3 speed, +3 for your shot power. So that's a really big player synergy that we want to activate. It's going to make any of your players that have Howitzer a lot better. So now that we've kind of gone over his team and seen what he brings to the table, let's go over some of the improvements that he can make. And first off, on the first line, we're actually going to bump Joe Sakic down to the second line, and we're going to pick up Mario Lemieux. I know that Mario Lemieux is definitely a grind, but he can easily be built free to play. All you got to do is take all of your gold players, create HUT collectibles, and get Mario Lemieux. This should be a guy that's on everybody's team, in my personal opinion. You should invest the 7 icon collectibles to get this Mario Lemieux. It's just worth it. He has Distributor and Howitzer. Those are two really, really big synergies in this game. And then the rest of the first line is going to stay the same. We're going to keep Nylander at the left wing. We're going to put McDavid at the right wing still. Keep Chelios and Paul Coffey on the first pair. For the second line here, we're going to go and swap Boster and Abramov. For all of your lineups, you had your left winger being right-handed and your right winger being left-handed, so I just swapped them for that. And bump Joe Sakic down to the second line since he is an untradeable card. We want to keep him in the lineup. We're going to take Nicholas Backstrom and take him off the team completely. He's not going to be in this makeup of the lineup. Then we're going to take Jacob Trouba, move him over to left defense because you're doing the same thing on your defense. Right-handed shot in left D, left-handed shot in right D. So we're going to move Trouba over to left D, and we're going to pick up Darnell Nurse's primetime card. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be Nurse, but you're going to want to find a defenseman, whether it's through NHL HUT Builder or not, that has this Howitzer. And the Darnell Nurse is going for about $30K on PlayStation 4. But like I said, it can be anybody with Howitzer because he can also move to your third pair. And I'm going to pop up this Darnell Nurse. I think you're going to get a lot of value if he has Distributor and Howitzer activated. You're looking at the skating for Darnell Nurse at 6'4", so he's a big-bodied defenseman. 90 speed, 92 endurance. That's huge in your second pair right here. He doesn't have the best shot accuracy, but he does have a great shot power whenever you get the Howitzer added. Above average passing with 87 for a big man. And then his stick checking defense awareness 86, 87 is more than enough. He can also throw the body a little bit with 87 body checking. Really like this guy. The acceleration isn't too great, so try not to have him pinch because you might have a little bit of trouble on that first step chasing the guy down. But I do think this Darnell Nurse will really fit into this team for that $30K price value. Al McGinnis is still in the lineup. Don't worry about it. You'll see that in the third defensive pair when we come down here. For the third line here, I think you're going to take Steven Stamkos and put him down on the fourth line and pick up Guy Carbonneau. And Guy Carbonneau right now, you can get him for about 60 to 70K. He's also going to get an upgrade to his 89 overall card, which will give him 2 distributor and 2 wingman. And I think that's going to happen tomorrow. So you might want to pick him up. Hopefully you see this before the 5 p.m. whenever they release that he's going to be upgraded to silver. But from my understanding, that's the next guy that's going to be upgraded, along with, I think, Eddie Olczyk, but I could be wrong, for the 84 overalls that can be upgraded to silver. So his price might go up a little bit. But right now he's 60 to 70K on the market, PlayStation 4. Then keep Yari Curry at the left wing. Keep Matt Duchene at the right wing. You're going to have Al McGinnis and Ryan Murray's another pickup. Team of the week, Ryan Murray's going for about 5,000 coins. The Al McGinnis, I'm not a huge fan of him, but I understand he's untradeable, so we're going to keep him in the lineup for now. I think you could get a better defenseman because even with distributor, he's kind of slow at 85 speed. And he'll be somebody that will be relatively nasty whenever he gets his silver upgrade because it'll fix some of these attributes. Like you get a little bit more accuracy. His slap shot power is going to be stupid at 98 slap shot power. But for right now, I don't think he's a great defenseman. If you want to play even like a Chris Letang base card, it might be a better option as Al McGinnis just for speed purposes. But this Ryan Murray's another guy like Darnell Nurse. You get the howitzer on him. Super underrated card. Once again, he has relatively decent slap shot and wrist shot power. Not the best accuracy, but for this defenseman, if you're looking for more budget defenseman, you're not going to get guys that are nasty offensively. They're going to be more defensive minded. 90 speed, 88 agility with the howitzer upgrade. The passing at 88 is great. The puck control is a little bit low at 84. The hand-eye is a little concerning with 78 in the offensive awareness and deking, but he is in your third pair. Once again, the stick checking 87, the defensive awareness 86 is great for a budget guy. 83 discipline. Really like this card, coming in about 5,000 coins PlayStation 4. And that's somebody you could put this in Nurse's place. The howitzer is 8 out of 6, so you could really put any other defenseman other than Darnell Nurse. I just think you should get one of these guys for sure. I prefer Nurse over Murray if I'm being honest. But hey, we're going to put them both in here so you know what you're looking at. But you can always keep any other defenseman you want in this spot because you don't need them for howitzer because you're 8 out of 6. Now we're going to go down to the fourth line. And then you have Phil Kessel, Tyler Seguin, and Steven Stamkos. On yours, you have Kessel, Seguin, and Boddicker. You don't need the Boddicker anymore because we've completed distributor by picking up Lemieux. You might have to keep the Boddicker in here and maybe get rid of Seguin or Stamkos temporarily till you can get the Lemieux to plug in, especially if you pick up Carbonneau already to fill out distributor. Another thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go find this Brian Fiddler and pay the $15K for the coach. To have a 2 distributor coach just isn't really super worth it in my opinion. You might as well just pay the extra 6,000 or 7,000 coins and get this Fiddler. You're going to need him long term if you want to build more than one team synergy anyway. That's the biggest thing, is switching out this coach, even though it's going to cost you about $15K. It might be a little bit less now, but that's what it was on PlayStation when I looked a couple days ago. As for Bobrovsky and Halak, you can keep them. They have distributor. That's more than fine. If you want to get rid of Halak and have a guy with a few more player synergies, look up some bronze players with the synergies you're trying to build towards. I recommend for the next synergy that you look to build guys that are either for Spark, Balance, or Swarm. Your personal preference. I think Swarm will be the easiest to make because it's only 8 players. But I do think that Spark is another great one to have with distributor. Balance isn't too bad as well, as I mentioned in a few other videos. Overall, I think this is going to be a great improvement for your team. I'll post this link in the description to let you look at your team so you can always pull up whenever you want. It'll always be saved. That's with anybody that does any of these reviews. I will always save your team. But I think this team will really improve. It gives you a lot of options with the 8 howitzer because anybody that has a howitzer activated, you can easily switch out that's in this lineup, including these bottom 2 for whoever you want, as well as getting rid of this Murray or Darnell Nurse. And you just have to keep 2 of the 4 here to keep the howitzer activated if you have Lemieux. This will also be if you don't have Lemieux right away and you have to keep the Boddicker, you'll still have howitzer activated with Seguin and Stamkos. Just bump up Sakic and Carbonneau. But we'll post the link in the description. Hopefully it helps you out. I hope you enjoy building towards this team that'll give you an extra player synergy as well as upgrade your defense a little bit, since I've seen that was kind of a weakness. And this fourth line, you're going to get a little bit more value out of your fourth line and your third defensive pair, I think, by building your team this way. And I do think the guy Carbonneau is going to be a big thing with the Duchene and Curry. I think he'll be more than fine. He's a good setup man whenever you get distributor activated. 86 puck control. Great faceoffs at 87. And if you upgrade him to that silver, you're going to get +5 here. So he's going to be a great third line setup man. He's going to be relatively fast. So I think this card has a lot of value in it moving forward. On to the second team. It's Jeff Labonte's team. He labeled it as Jay's team, so that's why I have it labeled as Jay's team review. Once again, the link will be shared in the description. And I apologize for the brutality of this video in the sense of this is the first one I've done of these. I really appreciate these 2 subscribers being my guinea pigs. The formatting will get a lot better over time. It's just one of those things. You haven't done it yet, so you're going to have to work through some of the bumps in the road. And I appreciate everyone sticking with me. On to the second team here. And he had told me the untradeable cards are pretty much anybody that is a Hut Icons player, as well as any of the Master Set players. So Daniel Sedin, Brock Besser. So looking at his team, he is a little bit more set up here with Lemieux and Gretzky up top, but we're going to go over his original team first, and this is Mario Lemieux, Wayne Gretzky, Howie Moranz, and then Seth Jones and Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the first defensive pair. Very good first line. Can't argue with it at all. Looking at his second line, he has Guy Lafleur, Daniel Sedin, Austin Matthews, Erik Karlsson, and Cale Makar. This is the dynamic duo Austin Matthews. Third line is Brock Besser, Joe Sakic, Andrei Svechnikov, Vladislav Gavrikov, and Chris Letang. Then on the fourth line, he has Teemu Selanne, Mark Messier, Connor McDavid. His goaltenders are Kevin Weeks and Andrei Vasilevskiy, with Brian Fiedler coaching. This man coaches a lot of teams in the Hockey Ultimate Team realm. He might be everybody's coach, to be honest. But he coaches a lot of them, huh? I was going to say. So now let's line these up together. As you can see, he has Speedster and Distributor activated. We want to get him up to Howitzer, Speedster, and Distributor because I really think that's the initial goal. The initial goal is to get Speedster, Howitzer, and Distributor activated and then work towards a second team synergy or maybe activating a player synergy like Workhorse or something. But I really think the goal is to get towards that Howitzer and Speedster for player synergies and Distributor for your team synergy. The change here is I am taking Svechnikov from the third line and putting him on the first line, in my personal opinion. If you want to keep Moranz up there and not Svechnikov, that's fine. I'll explain why I put Moranz down there when we get to the third line. But I'm going to keep Gretzky and Lemieux at center and left wing here. Gonna move Jacob Trouba into the lineup. Trouba's gonna cost you about $13K on PlayStation 4. Get him in your first defensive pair. We didn't go over Trouba too much because he's already on Graydon's team before, the first team we went over. And you're looking at, you throw on Howitzer and Distributor on this card. He gets up to 88 speed. He has ridiculous shot power, not the best shot accuracy. Good stick checking at 88 defense awareness. Relatively good budget card here at $13,000. Get him in your first defensive pair. We're gonna move Gavrikov up to the first pair here. He has 2 Howitzer. Definitely a great plug. You guys can check him out. Great defensive defenseman. So I think him and Trouba on your first pair would be good defensively. We're going to move on to the second line here. Guy Lafleur. I say make the Sean Couturier. I believe to get up to 86, you don't need any gold collectibles. You don't need any special of Couturier's card. You don't need Voracek's card or Giroux's card or anything like that to get him to this 86. Or any of the jerseys, anything ridiculous like that. You can give him the 86 by just player, so he's pretty much free. And he has Howitzer, and he is amazing in the face-off circle for an 86 with 88 face-offs. He gets 91 speed, good shot. He's overall just a very good two-way forward centerman. Recommend building him for anybody that's not watching this. The Daniel Sedin, obviously he's untradeable from my understanding. I would put him over to the right wing, the lefty. I really don't think he should be playing center just because his 83 faceoffs just isn't too great, so we're going to bump him over. Guy Lafleur stays on the second line, of course. Now, for your second defensive pair, we're going to move Oliver Ekman-Larsson down to where Cale Makar is. Take Cale Makar out of the lineup, and we're going to just move OEL down. Getting to your third line here, this is why I wanted Howie Moranz down here in your third line. Now, it could be Joe Sakic on the third line, but the reason I went with Howie Moranz and moved Mark Messier up to the third line with Brock Besser is Mark Messier here, 88 speed with Distributor, but his faceoffs are 92. Like, that has to be taken into account. He should maybe even be your second line center over Couturier. But you put him with Moranz and Besser, who's also very fast at 93 speed, and Moranz, who is 95 speed, you can make up for the fact that Messier doesn't have the best acceleration. He's going to play well in front of the net, and he's an amazing setup man with his 95 passing. Now, this could probably be your second line, but I mean, either way, these lines are interchangeable. I think you should definitely play these top three as much as you can. They all have relatively good endurance as well. As for the third defensive pair, we're going to go with Chris Letang. Bump him over to the left defense. You want that right-handed shot on left defense. And pick up base Victor Hedman. The base Victor Hedman is less than 10,000 coins. I think you can get him about right now for about 9,000 or 8,000 coins from the last time I checked. If he's more than that, I apologize, but I checked this earlier today, and he was selling for like 8,000 or 9,000 relatively easily. He does have howitzers. Base card isn't bad for the third defensive pair at 88 speed. Big bodied, has that 6'6", 88.6 checking, 88 defense awareness. Plus, right now, you'll probably scare people and think you got the team of the year, Victor Hedman. I know that's kind of a joke, but honestly, I think his base card's very good if you have howitzer and distributor activated. Going on to the fourth line, we're actually going to sell Connor McDavid. Get your 40,000, 45, 50,000 coins out of Connor McDavid, what you can get out of him, and buy base Anze Kopitar. Move Joe Sakic over to the right wing with Teemu Selanne. You'll actually have a pretty good fourth line. The reason I recommend Kopitar is he has accelerations 82, but you get him up with speed and distributor, you get him up to +7, 89 speed. You get the 91 wrist shot power with 85 wrist shot accuracy. That's more than enough, and he actually has a decent slap shot anyway. The distributor gives him passing at 89 for your fourth line center. That's great. And he has 85 faceoffs. The biggest thing is the faceoff number. If you don't go with Kopitar and you keep McDavid, which is an option, you can keep Sakic at center. You can put McDavid at right wing, but you don't get Speedster then because he fills out that Speedster synergy to the 4, as you can see. And then you're going to lose some speed on the Letang, the Lafleur, and the Besser, which isn't really what you want to do. You want to have the synergies activated as much as you can. We're going to keep Kevin Weekes and Vasilevsky. They have distributor. If you want to get a better backup goalie instead of this Kevin Weekes, or you want to make Vasi your main guy, you can always find a bronze. They normally sell for about 3,000 to 4,000 coins. They're not too expensive. But I think this will really improve your team. You'll get that howitzer activated. It'll move around some of your coins. I know you have a little bit of a lower coin stack than maybe some other guys right now, but definitely something to work towards. I do think taking out the Seth Jones, even if he's untradeable, I just don't think he fits in your team. You could keep him and get rid of Carlson if you can sell Carlson, but honestly, I would go with what I went with here for right now, short term. And you're on the channel a lot, Jeff, so you know you can always ask me questions about who's better here and there, and stay away from that Eric Lindros until he really drops down in price. I know you keep asking, but I don't think that Lindros really fits into your team right now without spending a lot of coin. I mean, I guess you could fill in where this Sean Couturier is, but this Couturier is a much cheaper option, and you're getting about the same value out of him that you would get out of Lindros. They're both relatively big in size. I mean, he's 6'3", Lindros is 6'4". I know playing with Lindros, if you grew up with a huge fan of Lindros or whatever, I understand, but hey, Couturier is also a flyer. I just think that's a better option, in my personal opinion. But here's your team, man. I'll post it up in the description. I really appreciate Graydon's and Jeff's support, especially switching over from the MLB to NHL. Don't worry. There's going to be more MLB content for you guys that are MLB fans. I appreciate anybody that watches team builds. Do you want me to review your team? Let me know. I'm going to also post up some random team builds that I think are just great teams that kind of mesh well together that can be built within a certain amount of budget, and I'll let you know what that budget is. As always, I appreciate all the support you guys give me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with any of your friends. That way they can help with their team builds. You guys have a great day and be safe.